Okay, we are live. Good evening, good evening. And a very good evening for me because my unstable internet has recently been fixed. Praise the Lord. Now, what you might not be praising the Lord with is the game I'm going to be streaming tonight, which is a game that, if you've watched The Angry Video Game Nerd or AVGN, which I have, you will know that James Rolfe vehemently hates this game. However, even though I didn't grow up, like I said, I didn't grow up in the NES era, this is a game that I have played and I actually defend, and there was even a video on YouTube that said, the game doesn't suck, you suck, basically. But yeah, not going to be that harsh, but long story short, this is considered the worst NES game ever made. And that is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I know a lot of people, speak pretty ill of this game. And I've played it, and I'm here to say that this game is not as bad as people make it out to be. And I see a lot of, because as someone who thinks creatively and strategically, this game is really interesting. Now, this is the American release, obviously the NES version. The original version came out in Japan. The game was made by Toho and published by Bandai. Not much is known about this game's development. It still remains quite a mystery, but I am going to be talking a lot about the game as I play it. And yeah, if you're here to hear me bash Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, then this is probably not the stream for you. So, it's already 5. We're on time for our stream. Let's go ahead and put the game in and start it up. And I gotta fiddle with my NES ZIF here because it just... There we go. Alright, here we go. So, the place here. A strange case of Dr. Jekyll, but no Hyde. But yes, the so-called worst NES game. We are streaming this tonight for your viewing pleasure, or I am streaming this tonight for your viewing pleasure. Now, I'll talk about as some probably know from the AVGN episodes that this music that you hear here is also in Rygar. This is just the opening cutscene where it shows the good doctor without any facial features. Almost makes you think that LJN made this game, but in his laboratory. And, making potions, just like in the Robert Louis Stevenson novel. This game, it's been speculated that this game is based more off of the 1920 film Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and not so much off of the novel by Robert Louis Stevenson, the book by Robert Louis Stevenson. So, that's just the opening cutscene. As you can see, it loops repeatedly. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as the arm gets up there, I'm going to press the start button, and we're going to play some Jekyll and Hyde. Now, also, if you're looking for a rage stream like last night, you're probably not going to get that with this one. But we'll see. You never know what you'll find in this stream, right? Alright. So this is the first level of the American release of the game, which is different in the Japanese version. A button jumps, B button uses the cane. As I'll explain that later. You got Billy Pones there, who's shooting slingshots at you. Now, these doors are interesting because, like, here's the Mad Bomber, for instance, who drops a bomb. And then, as you can see, it takes half your life. Now, the problem is, I was trying to show that if you press up, you can hide in the doors. Now, I don't know if this is something wrong with my NES controller, or if it just didn't let me hide in the door there. See, like right there, I tried to press up, and see, that's what I don't understand. Like, the game definitely has inconsistencies. Like, there's a good example right there. I'm going to reset for now. But, like, I don't know why it won't let me hide in the doors when the bomb's about to go off. I know in the Japanese version you can do that. But I just wanted to show that it can be done. Maybe the American version, because I have not played the Japanese version, for those wondering. I have only played the American release of this game, the NES release. And I guess this can kind of be somewhat of debunking the difficulty a little bit too, because like as you see here, these townspeople don't hurt you when they're walking, but when the Mad Bomber, like when they run, that's when and they do collide with you, it does drain your health. Now, speaking of health, okay, see, like right there, Yeah, so when the bombs... Okay, so I just noticed something. And this is sort of debunking the difficulty. Let me just do this again, make sure I understand. So when the bomb's on screen, like I can hide in the door now, but when the bomb's on screen, I can hide in the door, but I can't hide... Okay, see, I'm just trying to decipher things here, and because I'm still learning more about the game. I mean, the way that this game functions is very... And I'm just trying... Because ideally, I would like to try to get the good ending tonight. So, I've practiced this off camera, but I haven't fully debunked the difficulty, so to speak. So I just want to sort of, maybe with Back to the Future, there's no clear pattern. But what I want to see is, as this is considered the worst NES game ever made, I want to see why sometimes I can hide in the door, sometimes and other times can't. It just seems a little inconsistent. And I can see, so there's Billy Pones. He's about to shoot his slingshot. I'm going to hide away from him. So let's see. So the bomber's about to come. I'm going to hide in the door. Oh, okay, so maybe I have to be moving. Because if you hold up... Okay, so if you hold up, you can hide in the door. Okay, so maybe I have to hold up when I do that. Now notice that sometimes... Alright, so notice that so now I'm just going to continue playing the game. But now that I've explained basically the basics... there really is no clear pattern. Now, with the Mad Bomber, what I usually do, generally you're supposed to walk to the left to avoid the bomb blast. I have found that the bomb blast ranges are not nearly as, but then see, like right there, he was walking, and then all of a sudden he just charged for no apparent reason. So, I mean, there isn't a lot of rhyme or reason in this game as to how the enemies attack you, when they'll attack you, when they won't. So, like right there, she's walking, I try to jump over, and just all of a sudden charges. Notice this is draining my life meter, but other times in the past you saw it drain your stress meter, which is at the bottom. You see the J and the H, which is Jekyll and Hyde. I don't understand. I mean, I don't really understand how the health in this game works. I do know that sometimes it drains your stress meter, other times it's your life meter. Life meter, obviously, if that gets drained, pretty obvious, you're dead. But if the stress meter is completely drained, then you turn to Hyde. See, like that bomb blast drained my stress meter, but some other times it's drained my life meter. So I don't really understand how I think one of the biggest mysteries of this game is how the health works, both stress and life combined. Because no one can seem to, even AVGN. I mean, I don't fully understand how the health meter works in this game, and I think that's going to be a bit of a mystery. So when this bomb goes off, yeah, see the cat on screen? The animals, I know that when the Mad Bomber detonates the bomb, there's also dogs in this game, for those who have played, but no, yeah, like there. The pattern is they run, like, behind you, then in front and behind, and it can make it very difficult, and sometimes the cats that can just come off screen, and the randomness of this game, and the uncertainty of this game, is what's part of debunking the difficulty, because, again, not knowing how the game was developed, how it was intended to be programmed, from my understanding of the game, this is probably in speedrunning tactics. I know speedrunners hate the word or the acronym RNG, but this game is almost like if RNG were a game, this would be it. Like the patterns, I mean, I know AVGN has complained about lack of patterns. The dogs are the only things I can really see the pattern with, because, like, you can see, like, twice now it ran to the left of me, and then to the right, like that, and then back, so it's basically guaranteed to hit you, no matter what. You can try to dodge it until the cows come home, and it's not going to make a difference. So, the lack of rhyme or reason to the enemy patterns, and, like, see, now I feel like I'm playing Simon's Quest because there's no enemies, but this is the end of the level here. Now, mind you, this is American version level 1. Now, here's level 2, and yes, I will say that in the American release of the game, some levels are repeated. So there's the Mad Bomber. I'm going to jump over the cat because the cat's going to go nuts as soon as the bomb goes off. And you'll see when I play as Hyde, because if I die, because I guess the term "die as Jekyll" is can't really be used very loosely, as AVGN would make you think, because I mean because AVGN explained it. I remember in the second review of this game, or the revisited review, that if you die as Jekyll, you turn into Hyde, but you can die as Jekyll and game over instantly, and that's if your life meter is completely drained as Jekyll. You will die as Jekyll and will die in game over, basically. Now, obviously, if the stress meter reaches 0, then you will not necessarily die as Jekyll. Die is the wrong term, but you will turn into Hyde. And if you turn into Hyde, which I'll explain the Hyde mode of this game when we get to that portion of the game. And so sometimes projectiles don't even affect your stress or life meter. Like the Gravedigger's dirt just hit me there, and I didn't even notice. Maybe it took my life maybe a little bit. I didn't really see. I wasn't really paying attention. But sometimes hazards will not drain either one. See, like that one drained my stress meter. I saw that one. And ideally, the better meter to be drained is the stress meter, because if the stress meter increases, well, drain is, I guess, is the wrong word. But, like, yeah, so, like, the animals are stressing Jekyll out, and you can see that the stress meter is the one I want to go down, because at least if that goes toward Hyde, toward the H on the left, so, like, if I get hit by this dog a couple more times, see, if I get hit one more time, assuming it drains my stress meter, then I'm going to turn into Hyde. And that is what I want to show, because there's the other dog, so let's see if I'm going to get hit here, or not. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. That time I was able to dodge the dog's attack. And yes, I'm well aware of the birds crapping out dog turd piles. Speaking of the dog. So when the bomb goes off, the dog's going to go crazy. Okay, see, like it seems like the dog does his man in the middle, or it seems like he turns like right in the middle. But yeah, okay, so now I got hit with that dog again. So now I'm gonna turn into Hyde because I drained the last of my stress meter. So now I'm Hyde, and I'll explain the Hyde controls now. So now one thing you might notice is Hyde. Well, first let me explain the controls. So when you press B, you punch. If you press the up on the D-pad and B simultaneously, you will do what the manual calls the Psycho Wave. Now, dying as Hyde, regardless, is game over. Just no questions asked. And obviously, yeah, you get hit too many times, you'll die as Hyde and game over. Which game overing isn't exactly as bad as AVGN made it out to be, and you'll see why if I do game over. But basically, one thing you may notice is that when you're playing as Hyde, the stages look very similar to the stages you played as Jekyll, and that is the case. When you are playing as Hyde, you are playing the Jekyll stages, but backwards. Okay, so that's the idea of being Hyde. You want to turn back into Jekyll, and as you can see there, I relieved my stress meter, and now I'm back to Jekyll. So when I come back as Jekyll, it restores. Notice it didn't fully restore my life meter, though, but it did restore about 75% of my life meter, which is what I've seen on Wikipedia and other game wikis for this game. So obviously, the only way you can restore your life meter is to become Hyde, and then relieve your stress meter to become Jekyll again. So that's the idea behind the stress and life meters. See, now I can see like these animal attacks are draining my stress meter. So, and I learned more about the game because to be honest, I mean, I know some people just outright vehemently despise this game and say it's a pile of dog dookie or whatever, but I honestly find this game very interesting, and I love good old mysteries. I mean, I could be part of the mystery gang from Scooby-Doo. I mean, but basically, the reason I like this game is because, I mean, it's sort of an action game, a side-scroller action game, but it's also kind of interesting to see how the game was programmed, considering that we still to this day don't know much about this game's development and why it was developed, and the storyline behind it. See, like right there, the bomb blast didn't get me, and that's why. And I found that, I don't know. I mean, some claim, and I haven't made it far enough to make this judgment call, but some say that the bomb blast ranges increase the further you progress in the game. I don't know, because I'm just going based on the observations I've seen so far in an attempt to debunk this game's difficulty and its story. Now, you might also notice the coin meter. I forgot to mention that, too. We'll get to that in a little bit. You notice I picked up some coins as Hyde. Those will become important a little bit later in the game. I believe on level 3, there is a character where the coins will come in handy. I'm just trying to make this so people who haven't played the game or don't fully understand it, and even I don't fully understand it, but I do the best I can to explain these games, what the coins will be for. Now, see, like right now, once again, see the bird decided that the enemy placement is just very random. See, now, like, there's a cat coming. I don't know, maybe if the bird craps on the cat, well... okay, so the bird crapped near the cat, and it set the cat off. Okay, so here's level 3. So there's Billy Pones again. He shoots his slingshot. Now, one thing about Billy Pones, I mean, for those who haven't watched the AVGN episode, and sadly I do not have the manual for this game, but Billy Pones does, as it's explained in the manual, has a crush on Dr. Jekyll's fiancée, and that's why he's, you know, shooting you with his slingshot in disgust, like, you know, you SOB, whatever. See, like, right there, okay, so I think I'm starting to realize, so the bomb got me there, and I was pretty far to the left. So, I'm going to say that the people who say that the bomb blast ranges increase as you progress through the game, I'm going to say that that's true, because, I mean, right there, I mean, there it didn't happen, but the other one, I was pretty far away from that bomb blast, and it still got me. But I've noticed that a lot of these hazards now are draining my stress meter, or are increasing my stress meter, I should say, and are not so much my life meter. Now, it seems when you get hit in quick succession that it drains your life meter more than your stress. So I'm thinking, just based on logical reasoning here, that when you get hit in quick succession, the game, it's programmed to drain your life meter because the game sees that as impatience, because Jekyll's supposed to be the good guy, right? So, you know, obviously he's supposed to be patient and calm, and, you know, when the game sees that you're impatient, this game is almost as if it wants to teach you patience, like to be patient. Like, you mean, you're in a rush to beat the game, and you're like, but, you know, it seems like when you're more patient, see, like when you're standing here, the bomb explosions don't hurt you. I should also mention that too. And I can hear a cat that's down at the bottom where the bomber was. But it seems like the more patient you are, if the game doesn't, the game is programmed so, like, if it senses that you're rushing through, see, like right there, see those two hits before they so I think I'm seeing I think I'm now understanding better how the health meters work, the life and the stress meter. I think the quicker, like the frequency of the hits, like if you get hit in very quick succession, like I said, it will drain your life meter. But if you get hit just as the game intends for you to get hit by the obstacles, which are just general everyday annoyances, then it will drain your stress meter, and you will go closer to becoming Hyde. Because the idea is, you do want to finish the game as both Jekyll and Hyde, as the game's title would imply. Okay, so right there, Billy Pones got me, and now I'm turning into Hyde again. And that's not, and a lot of people think turning into Hyde's a bad thing. Now notice when I start off as Hyde again, I'm right back where I started, where I last was as Hyde. So as Mr. Hyde, obviously you're killing these enemies. Now notice when I'm Hyde, and one more thing I forgot to mention, another noteworthy mention. This is the reason the life meter is so important, because as Jekyll, while your life meter can be drained as Jekyll, as Hyde, every enemy drains your life meter. Your stress meter is not affected at all by enemy attacks when you're playing as Hyde. See, like I got hit there, and it drains my life meter. So, as Hyde, and you notice obviously you relieve your stress meter by killing enemies, just enemies in general. So like the brains, the demonic babies who turn into these, I guess, like humans. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. But using my just trying to use my imagination, the satellites and whatnot, like those. You know, I don't, like I said, sadly I don't have the game manual. Now this demonic face, I mean you have to shoot it with the Psycho Wave, and you know the Psycho Wave is a little bit harder to pull off because you got to press up and B to pull off the move. And yes, holding up. Now here's something interesting. So like right here, you get auto scroll, but notice Hyde is still walking. Well, actually now I'm walking whether I like it or not. I mean I can try to stay off the next level, because I'm going to advance to the next level all I want here, and I can just keep holding right and keep Mr. Hyde stuck. But I can't go anywhere, and there's no more enemies for me to fight, so that I have no choice but to progress as Hyde. Now, the other way to die as Hyde is if you get as far as Jekyll. I mean, I'll just spoil that one outright. Now, the reason that happens is because, and that I do understand, it's because it's the mentality that good should triumph over evil at all times. So I do understand the lightning that the game programmers put in when you're playing as Hyde. And that is completely understandable. So that's why I find this game very interesting, because it really does accurately it very does accurately convey how Jekyll and Hyde works, because you hear the term Jekyll and Hyde all the time. You know how someone can be so nice, but then they can be so evil, and based on what events going on around them. Now these bees, you can swat away with the cane. These are the only enemies that you can fend off as Jekyll, which I failed at doing. But I will say that this game does a very good job at. Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, so here's the enemy, the singing woman. Okay. Now, her musical notes fly everywhere, and they hurt you if you get hit by them. But notice right there, if you walk into her and you have enough coins, Jekyll will automatically pay her off, so she'll stop singing, and you can progress. Now, here's level 4 of the game. Now, this level, this is where your patience really... You have to be more patient, because enemy attacks are more frequent in this level than any other level. Now, because I was impatient, you notice... so yes, I mean, a lot of complaints about this game are people saying that you're always, there's no pattern, you're always getting hit, and you can't really scroll the screen to the right very much. But that is how the game is intended to be played. I mean, the idea is that Dr. Jekyll, the good doctor, is on his way to his wedding, and everything's trying to slow him down. So, if there's any game, in my opinion, to teach kids patience, or kids or adults, actually, to be more patient, have more patience, it would be this game. And that's why I actually like this game, because as someone who has struggled with impatience issues in the past, this game has really helped me become more patient and understanding, which is the idea behind Jekyll. Because Jekyll is patient and amiable. And you'll notice the more I'm patient and I wait and wait, even though these spiders are a pain in the butt, if I wait long enough, they move. So, I think that this game was designed as a patience test game, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, because it seems like the more I play this game, the more patient I become. Because, yes, obviously every gamer wants to beat the game, but the game is not intended to be played in that manner. The game is intended to teach you patience and, being understanding and so on and so forth. So I think that is why the game was programmed like the way it was, and I'm gonna get hit by the bomb here. Okay. So, yeah, because sometimes both meters can be drained, and right there, as you can see, I'm gonna start Hyde dead, basically, because both my life and stress meters are drained. So I'm gonna die instantly, like I just did. But here's the good thing. This is something AVGN has complained about in games like Dick Tracy, and one hit and the game's over, right? But here's one thing: when I get past the game over screen, there is a continue option. So if you do game over, you do get to continue where you left off. Now, I don't know if there's a limit to this, however, but there is at least a continue. This game does have continues, and that is why I can't call this game, just utter crap, right off the bat, because at least they said, okay, if you're patient and you want to keep playing and you want to try to beat the game, you can, and you don't have to, it's not one hit, no continues or anything like that. Another thing AVGN always complains about is the inability to duck in video games. In this game, you can duck to avoid, for instance, Billy Pone's slingshot projectiles. So I'll see if I can demonstrate that here. The reason I struggle with this level a lot, and yes, the difficulty, as with any game, the game's going to get more difficult as you progress through the game, obviously. But the problem with this level is the fact that people just keep running at you, and I get that. I mean, I'm not going to knock the game for, because, it is just common practice the further you progress through a game, the more difficult it's going to be. But have you guys noticed that as I get hit in quick succession, that's what's draining my life meter? Now, the bomb is obviously the most damaging. See, like right there, I got hit by the bomb explosion somehow. And it drained my life meter, but the thing is, it seems that the bomb is the most damaging hazard that is almost certain to just kill you, to be basically as close to an instant kill as you can get. Now, these people charging through me, I've noticed that, so like again, I just got both meters drained simultaneously. So while I have a better understanding of the health system in the game, this is as far as I could get in the game in my practice runs, and this is what I want to get past because this is level 4. There's a total of 6 levels. So I have 2 more levels to go, and I've heard that the barrel stage, which is level 6 in both the American and Japanese version, is quite unforgiving. So I want to see how far. I want to see if I can get at least past level 4, because I have not been able to successfully do so. But as I play the game more and understand more about the mechanics in the game and how it works, I think I'm starting to get. It also seems as if the life meter is drained as if the game was programmed, and this is just speaking as like spontaneous generation as a thing. But it seems like when you get hit by these people when they're charging at you, they take away from your life meter no matter what. And I get like the townspeople hate Jekyll or whatever, and I mean again I don't understand, because when they're walking they don't hurt you, but when they're running or charging like that, yes they are. I don't know. I mean I know when the mad bomber makes everybody panic, and as one would expect, and that's just natural instinct. I mean obviously if someone puts a bomb in your path, of course you're gonna freak out over that. But it seems like the enemies are less abundant the more you wait to scroll the screen. And I've noticed that these women in pink dresses, it seems like the townspeople panic more when the mad bomber is on screen. So one theory I've had, see like right there I was able to dodge Billy Pones' slingshot projectile by simply ducking, which I know Angry Video Game Nerd complains a lot in games that you can't duck. In this game, at least, you can, to avoid taking damage. And I'm noticing that, there is a pattern to the way these people are running, and Billy Pones as well. And I know, I can avoid taking most of these hits. I can avoid, just if I time the jumps correctly. Sometimes I do, and some other times I don't. But it seems like there's enough of a pattern where I can avoid taking damage, whether that's life or stress, by simply jumping. Now there it's kind of like, but I've been able to get the timing, but that's just, as with playing any game, practice makes permanent. So I'm just, but I mean, the only thing here that I'm having a problem with is that I have to keep walking back to avoid getting hit by these people. Now, I'm wondering though, because I've heard other theories that I'm supposed to become Hyde, but it's kind of hard to do, to relieve my stress so that there'll be fewer enemies when I come back as Jekyll. Now, the problem here though is, see like right there, the problem is my life meter keeps getting drained, and even though I turn into Hyde, because my life meter is completely depleted, I start out dead as Hyde. So that's why I've been having so much trouble with this level. And I've been trying to figure out, like, if there's a pattern, what that pattern is, and how to progress, because as you guys have seen, I was doing perfectly fine up to this point in time, and now it's like, I'm stuck, man. Like, it's almost like I need Nintendo Power to continue here. Like, this is going to be some sort of Nintendo Power game, so I mean, like right there, even the first hit, so I can kind of see the thing about the patience, okay? And the people hitting you seems to always deplete your life meter. So, and I haven't had one instance where getting hit by one of these people, whether it's a man or a woman, has depleted my stress meter. It always seems to take away from the life meter, or decrease the life meter. So if I've learned anything from that, if I want to get killed by anything, well, to turn into Hyde, that is, it's to get hit by Billy Pones, because is to let my stress go up by getting hit by Billy Pones' slingshot projectiles, because these people seem, I don't think I've seen one that depletes the stress meter. So it always seems to get the life meter. I think that's why I keep dying as Jekyll and Hyde respectively, because these people just keep charging into me. And this is why I said this game has, the RNG is just like nothing I've ever seen before in speedrunning rules, I guess. So now I'm just going to sit here. Okay, so Billy ran that way. Okay, I somehow jumped into the spider. The spiders seem to increase my stress, though, which is actually what I'd want to happen, because the spider, because when your stress meter increases, or decreases toward Hyde. I mean, it's kind of hard to say whether it's an increase or decrease, but now I'm seeing, yeah. So it seems like the people hitting you when people hit you by charging through you, that always takes away your life. Okay, so yeah. So now I got exactly what I wanted. I'm going to turn into Hyde here, and that's what I want because when I come back as Jekyll, there will be fewer enemies. So let's play as Mr. Hyde let's play as Hyde here for a little bit. And because it's also good to get coins. Now, sadly, when you do game over, you do lose all the coins you've collected. But, you know, that kind of is to be expected because, you know, it's just with any game, you know, that's just kind of how it works. That's kind of, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, they're having continues is generous enough as it is, but yeah. I think one of the biggest problems with Hyde's Psycho Wave is the fact that you have to hit up and B, and it's very specific when you have to press, like, how you have to press the buttons simultaneously, because even if you hold up and mash B, you can't, like, rapid fire. So, like, I'm tapping the B button as fast as I possibly can. I don't know how much you've seen that on the face cam, but it almost seems like this is where you would need, like, an NES Max or Advantage with a turbo, or just a turbo button in general would be extremely helpful because, you know, obviously being unable to spam projectiles is, you know, kind of a pain in the butt. But okay, so there we go. So now I'm back as Jekyll. Now you notice that the spiders are both gone now, and that's what I was talking about. See, like, how I said that, you know, when you come back as Jekyll, some of the enemies are not as abundant. I didn't say they're completely gone, but this will become more important later on in the game because to get the good ending, there is an enemy that you will defeat that will change the game drastically and remind you even more of Simon's Quest. Which, you know, the more I think about it, it's kind of ironic how AVGN critiqued Simon's Quest first and then critiqued Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now here's something interesting. Okay, so there's something I haven't experienced before. So right there, I was trying to jump over that guy was right in the middle, right in my way, and he still hurt me while he was stationary. But luckily, that depleted my stress meter, and I'm Hyde again, which is fine, because I intended to do this. And this is Hyde going back, because basically what's happening is, I mean, Jekyll getting as far as Hyde, let me explain how that works. Because, like I explained earlier, when you're playing as Hyde, which, like I am now, for instance, when you're playing as Hyde, you're actually playing the levels you played as Jekyll, but backwards, so you're progressing back to the beginning of the game. And this is why I love the concept of the game, you know, good must triumph over evil. Because, obviously, you can see I'm going back to what appears to be the second level, or maybe the third level possibly of the game. And once I get past, once I go back to the, you know, to the first level, or through the gateway, you know, as Hyde, what'll happen is I'll go back to the first stage. But if I get back to the spot I started off at as Jekyll, then I've got a problem without progressing, because then, you know, like I said, evil will have triumphed over good. Triumph is a bit of a hard word for me to utter sometimes. And I died as Hyde. So, but that's just the traditional way, getting hit too many times. So, but I do understand a little bit better how the game works. And the more you play, obviously, the better you're gonna get. It's those mouth enemies that I think maybe I shouldn't try to kill them, because I just can't spam the Psycho Wave fast enough without a turbo controller, at least. Or a, you know, turbo button, rather. I just can't spam the button to pull off that Psycho Wave, you know, and you know, enough times to accurately to avoid dying. So that's just why it can get kind of frustrating. Now, of course, I will say this too. You know, it's understandable how up and B could have been programmed intentionally, because not because they wanted you to have to buy a turbo controller like an NES Max or Advantage, but also because you know, just the patience concept. Now here's something I'm also seeing here. The Mad Bomber hasn't appeared. Okay, there he is. And this is about the spot where I died as Jekyll last time. This is approximately where I died as Jekyll. So I'm wondering, when you continue, I don't know if it's unlimited continues. Maybe I've done like 4 or 5 continues, so I don't know if there's a limit. Let me know in the chat if there is. But what I'm noticing is, it seems the further you progress as Jekyll, even when you die and game over and you continue, it seems that the enemy, it's not like the game's becoming any easier, it's just because you've already cleared the evil, so to speak, in past areas as Jekyll, the good guy. So I'm starting to, yeah, this game is, it's kind of fun just trying to see how this game was put together and debunk the difficulty. So yeah, the singing lady, obviously I don't have any coins, so I can't pay her off right now. So I'm proud, but I've noticed that her music notes seem to, or these eighth notes that she's, okay, there's the shooter, or the hunter shooting ducks out of the sky, and I want to go back to being Hyde anyway, so and I have a lot of life, so that's fine. See, yeah, because now I'm back where I started as Hyde. So it seems like when whether you die as Jekyll or Hyde, it doesn't matter who you die as. You know, the game at least does have the decency to start you back, you know, at where you left off. So you really do truly continue where you left off. And the other thing, thinking about this too, is that AVGN always complains about, you know, long passwords or just, you know, game passwords in general. And the thing is, like, so okay, so I need a better way of pulling off this up and B. Like, one thing that's really getting that is a bit frustrating is having to press up and B to pull off the Psycho Wave, and that's the most effective attack when you're Hyde, when you're playing as Mr. Hyde. Now the problem is, because you have to press up and B, it's a specific pattern because B just punches, and while that is rather effective, especially for the enemies like I guess the gnomes or the devil with the horns or whatever that was supposed to be, that is effective because I can fend off those enemies by punching, but some of the enemies like that are in the air obviously are better. It's easier for me to defeat them by shooting projectiles, so. Okay, so, but anyways, so I noticed that, you know, so it seems like the further I progress as Hyde, the fewer enemies appear as Jekyll too, and that makes sense because, and I'll tell you why. So there I just killed a bee because that's the only enemy you can kill as Jekyll, or defeat rather as Jekyll, because you just swat him away, I guess. And yeah, there's the infamous statue taking a piss. Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's a lot of bees around here, and that one actually just went through the bushes there. But it seems like bees are just it seems like some of these hazards, it's very, I mean, I'm just trying to debunk the difficulty as best I can here. But like I said, this game is very fascinating, and I do enjoy playing it. I know some people are probably going to start telling me in the chat I need to go to the mental hospital if I actually enjoy this game, but I really am enjoying this game. And I'm inclined to agree with the guy who said the game doesn't suck, it's you who perceives the game as being bad. Because I genuinely don't think that this game is bad. I think that this game teaches you patience and teaches you, you know, and accurately portrays, you know, what Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, both Robert Louis Stevenson's novel and, of course, the 1920 movie, conveyed about, you know, good versus evil, and, you know, potions and whatnot. Because look at this, like these obstacles, the bees seem to only be draining my stress meter, which is, and I still have full health. So I guess I'm going to start using health to describe my life meter, or maybe I'll just say life. I mean, whatever you guys want me to do. The bomb explosions are just okay, but you know what? See, I got hit by the spider, so that at least it saved my life meter. And it is good to play as Hyde, even though some say, you know, like, oh, well, you're not supposed to let yourself become Hyde. So, like, right here is a good example of an enemy that you can hit by punching. So it seems like, I think I see part of the issue here, I think I'm trying to use the Psycho Wave too frequently, and I think, like, the brains, you know, annoying as they all are, but the demonic babies, which, that one just disappeared, this is the closer I got to it. But it seems, and you can shoot the coins, too, I mean, that's always a pain, but let me see if I... Okay, yeah, because the babies turn into the giraffe or whatever the hell that's supposed to be. So it looks like if I don't do anything, it turns into the giraffe. The gargoyles, apparently, if I just hit them, or the gargoyles seem to be best fended off by punching. Now this guy, if I punch, now see the mouth is the enemy that seems to do the most damage. It seems like that mouth is doing the most damage, and that's what's sort of a pain in my rear end. because now the satellites are these exploding bombs. I don't know what those. Maybe those are supposed to be like Hyde's version of the Mad Bomber. I'm not too sure actually. But those seem to do a lot of damage too. And I understand that the Psycho Wave is, and those you kind of have to get with the Psycho Wave, and I just jumped into one and died. But and I was pretty close to the next level anyways. So, but the fact that I'm progressing more through level 4, now here's something interesting. When I continue, I got pretty far as Jekyll without, so I'm curious here. Let me continue, and I'm curious to see like what the enemy, or like especially the Mad Bomber, because the Mad Bomber seems to be the one, okay, so it has nothing to do with how far you get as Jekyll or Hyde. Okay, so no, so I was wrong on that one, okay. The problem is with these people keep charging through you. That's what does a number on your. So right there, so now I'm basically fatally screwed, quite literally, because the people. I mean, again, I don't understand like why the townspeople hate Jekyll. I mean, I don't understand that logic, but I do at least understand the basics. But the problem is, I can't. When your life meter is so depleted and you turn into Hyde. There's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter how many enemies you kill, because as Hyde, you can only relieve your stress meter, you can't relieve your life meter, which I think that's where the frustration would come in. And the problem is the people just keep charging at you, and they do a great deal of damage when they hit you. So getting back to the idea of being patient, though, because it seemed that when I was trying to keep scrolling the screen to the right, the Mad Bomber just came out of nowhere, and now it looks like that's not the case because I'm taking it a little slower and being more cautious with my moves here. So I'm wondering, you know what? I have to wonder. I'm just gonna make subtle taps with the D-pad here. I'm gonna stop here for Billy Pones. Okay, so he's gonna let him walk by, let him. Keep doing this. Okay, so he's going to do that. Yep, he's going to shoot his slingshot. Yeah, it seems the slower I advance the screen to the right, to being more cautious to avoid potential hazards. See, yeah, that it just seems like it delays the Mad Bomber, which is kind of what I want, actually. Because the problem is I keep getting hit by the people, the townspeople, and every time that happens, that does a great deal of damage. Pretty close to what the bomb does. So, and that's what can be very frustrating. So, again, like right there, there's nothing I could have done, but it doesn't look like that one actually did anything. So I need to get him to drop the bomb and then run over here. It's just the problem at which the people charge. That's the issue. Is these people charging are what makes this level so difficult. And I don't know if on the barrel stage, I think at least on the barrel stage, there's no people charging at you. Hang on one sec, guys. Sorry. That's just a friend of mine. I will get on that a little bit later. It's not important. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything. Like I said, the problem is these people. That's just really, yeah, because now again, I'm dead as Jekyll and Hyde. So it's just... Yeah. So I'm getting. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Just reading some texts in between. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm gonna try scrolling the screen again slowly. I'm just gonna make some subtle taps. Actually, okay, yeah. See, okay, so yeah, so it appears that if you scroll the screen to the right too fast, the enemies become more abundant. So I think my theory about, the faster you go, the harder the game gets. Alluding back to the idea of being patient, as the good doctor would be. So, I just don't understand. The problem is that these people keep hitting me, and that's what's doing. See, and sometimes I just can't jump, and it's getting kind of frustrating because I can't do anything to avoid some of them. And that is kind of frustrating because... So, I mean, it's like... It's just, if I could stop getting hit by these people, because those, I've never seen one that takes away, that depletes the stress meter. To see, like, every person that keeps hitting me keeps killing me, literally, and I can't avoid some of these people. I mean, the slingshot, at least, I can get hit by, and that'll increase stress, but that won't. So, I don't know, should I just get hit by the spider or the slingshot? Because it seems like every one of these people that hits me is killing me, just literally, like... It's almost like paperboy. Okay. So, riddle me this. If I just go straight in, the bomb, though, that's the problem. So, what I don't understand is why... Because I can't get hit by the people if I've learned anything from this, it's that I can't get hit by the people charging, because those are basically like one step closer to instant death. Let me do another thing here. I'm going to go back here, because this is the level I could not beat prior. So I'm just going to stand right... Okay, so wait. So it doesn't even seem... I don't get it, man. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no clear pattern. There's no rhyme or reason. The problem is these people that keep charging into me is really... That's what's causing me to die so often and game over so often, is because every time the people charge at you, they do a great deal of damage to your life, and only your life. And that's a big problem, because not being able to avoid the people is a huge issue, because that's what gets really frustrating with this game, I think, if anything, is the constant barrage of these people that just will not stop charging through you, and there's hardly any way to avoid them. Like right there, I could not jump. There was nothing I could have done. In there too. Like, and I've got the bomber, and it's just, you can try all you want, but you're not gonna evade. And the fact that they deplete your life only, see, like, that's what's really frustrating about this game, and gets the nerves going, is because, you know, I'm gonna die again, so, you know, it's not even worth my while. I might as well just get hit too many times and just die as Jekyll normally, because, I mean, just go straight through the bomb, because, yeah, let me just die as Jekyll, because it's funny how it waits for the bomb to explode. Oh, so wait a minute, so when you die... So the problem is these people. The people are what are causing the problem. I can't stop getting hit by the people, and that's what you don't want to get hit by, because they drain only your life meter. And I have not seen one time where getting hit by the people drains your stress meter. That's what I'm getting frustrated about, is that I can't stop getting hit by the one enemy, quite literally, or adversary, I guess, that drains only your life. Because, like, see, that guy turned and goes back. Now, at least Billy Pones doesn't hurt you when he's running through you. So as if Jekyll has some immunity to getting hit by kids. I don't know. I guess that's probably not the best way that could have been. That was kind of bad choice of words there, but yeah, or bad word choice. But I think if I can get hit by enough things to deplete the stress, that's the ideal solution to the people problem. Because, like, right there, it's just, I keep getting hit by the people, and that's... I don't remember the barrel stage at all, because I've never made it that far, but I'm assuming that on the barrel stage, aside from the singing lady, that there are no people charging, and the barrels are like the equivalent of the people. I don't know, because I've never made it that far. But it's... At least I know Billy Pones will drain my stress. Getting pwned by Billy Pones, quite literally. It's just these frickin' people that just keep hitting me and draining my life. And that's why I can't progress, because these frickin' people... Like, even the bomb's the most damaging, but it's like... It's the fact that I can't stop getting hit by the people. That is what's really causing the problem, because now I'm gonna die as I'm just gonna die as Jekyll again, because, or get hit by, just what if I'm just gonna get directly hit by the bomb, because at this, you see, by the time the problem is I keep getting hit by the people, and I lose, and the life meter is just too far gone when I become Hyde, or like this, and that's why I can't get past this stage, because I can't. But let me see if the continues are unlimited. I mean, so far it looks like, because I've died quite a few times here, but I don't see a limit yet, so at least they thought to have unlimited continues. At least from what I can see. I don't see any signs of a continue quota yet. And see, now the bomber is like, okay. I mean, the RNG, I mean, it's common for there be RNG in games, you know, just, you know, randomness in games, but it's like this one, I mean, I don't know if there was supposed to be a pattern, if it was done intentionally, but like now the bomber is less frequent, and it seems like the people only charge when the bomber is close by or on screen. So it seems like until the Mad Bomber comes into the picture, only then do the people become aggressive. So maybe it's not Jekyll the people hate, it's the Mad Bomber, who maybe is a descendant of Hyde, I guess? That's the only logical explanation I have. But yeah, because see, like, as soon as the Mad Bomber came into the picture, you can see the people start charging again. So I'm not convinced it's Jekyll they hate. I think it's the Mad Bomber, and why it hurts Jekyll when they run into you when the Mad Bomber's on screen, that I don't know. I guess maybe they're pushing you out of the way, maybe, is the best sense I can make of it. And why that depletes your life only, I don't know. I mean, you'd think that would stress you out, but I just don't. It seems like, because the people, I definitely can say for sure that the people only seem to go nuts when the Mad Bomber's on screen. Because see there, that guy was coming, as soon as the Mad Bomber appeared on screen, boom. People just went, well, I said boom literally at the same moment the bomb went off. So like this guy's walking casually, but as soon as the Mad Bomber comes on screen, yep, he charged. So yeah, so my assumption is correct. The people go nuts when the bomber's on screen. That's when they go nuts. And it seems like the bomb only does more damage to stress if it hits you when you're in midair. So I think I'm understanding how the game's... I think I'm understanding better how the game's meters work. And that is good, because I mean, I know a lot of people don't understand them, and I've just been trying to debunk the difficulty and decipher how this game was programmed, because I think, like I said, the most infuriating thing with Hyde, annoying thing, is that the fact that it can't rapid fire, and you'd think being Hyde, you'd be able to rapid fire, and the brains, you know, the easiest enemies to kill, either by punching or by shooting, but the problem is, the up and B is really a problem. Like that, I mean, it's like it has to be pressed in such a way, and the move is just very inconsistent. I mean, I think that's part of the difficulty. Okay, so there I actually made it back as Hyde, and I'm turning back into Jekyll. So yeah, so it's going to restore 75% of my life, which turned out to be all of it this time. So I'm going to start walking again. I'm going to stop about here, because, see, like, the Mad Bomber's off screen. But I know as soon as he comes on screen, that's when I'm going to start to have the problems with the people. This part seems a bit easier, because at least here, the Hunter and the Singing Lady are more of an issue here. But at least the Singing Lady's notes deplete your stress and not your life. And that, see, like, that's, I mean, maybe sometimes, you know, a combination of both, but you can see, like, for the most part, these notes are affecting my stress meter, not the life meter, and it looks like she pauses with her bad singing, too. So, that, at least, is helpful, because at least her, there is a pattern I can get down and understand, and I can at least get the Singing Lady's pattern down, and the falling ducks, the ducks falling on your head seem to also deplete stress. So if I've learned anything up to this point, it's those people that do the greatest deal of damage. Even the dog turds from the birds, the bird turds, even they deplete your stress for the most part. And this is where I died as Hyde last time. The bees, somehow I killed the bee and then it also hit me. And yeah, hitting these bees is harder than it looks. I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, these bees can be very annoying. Although I will say, speaking of bees, and also because we all know what a hell of a time I have with the bees in Back to the Future, those bees are the bees in this game are not nearly as infuriating or annoying as the ones in Back to the Future, because these at least here you can kill the bees if you time it right. You can swat them away with your cane and fend them off. But in Back to the Future, obviously it being LJN, what did you expect? You can't kill the bees. You're defenseless against the bees. But at least here you do have an attack that you can use to swat the bees away with the cane. So at least being able, I know how much you guys love my bad puns, but being able to kill the bee or swat the bees away in this game is an advantage, is advantageous, I will say. And it seems once you get past the duck part, the part where the hunter's shooting the ducks out of the sky, it seems that here there's no more townspeople to deal with, and that's why what I was having the most trouble with earlier was the damn townspeople that just kept running into me and draining my life meter and not my stress meter. Because at least the stress meter, if you turn into Hyde and you have full life, that at least is good because, see, like right there, yeah, see, like I just said, because this is good because I have full life as Hyde, because as Hyde, obviously, every enemy drains only your life meter. So that obviously, regardless, when your life meter hits 0, you're dead. You game over no matter what. Whether you're Jekyll or Hyde. So it seems like, so in my opinion, it's those townspeople that were really being a bugaboo, quite frankly, not literally, but quite frankly, they were being a bugaboo. I think I also see that sometimes I have to charge more towards enemies, and being towards the right of the screen is not exactly helpful, and punching does actually come in handy. So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start using the punch a little more often, because I've noticed that the punch seems to come in handy. It does seem like you relieve more stress when you're shooting, using the Psycho Wave rather, but when you're punching, I mean, it does relieve stress too. So, all right. So now this. Oh, so somehow. Okay. So the mouth enemy right there. It looks like I hit him in the eye, and that was an instant kill. So it looks like there's a. So now I think I understand how the eye enemies or mouth or whatever they are, whatever they're supposed to be. It seems like that's the optimal way to kill those to defeat those enemies is to hit them in their eyes. Alright, so the satellites are a little... Okay, so let me see if I... Okay, yeah, that's exactly it. Because I hit him straight in the eye, or in the face, or looked like in the eye, but yes. And he died instantly. So that at least tells me that's the optimal way to kill those things. And I think just from playing this game more and more, I find out... Okay, so now I'm back at the first Jekyll stage, but I can't get too far in this stage, because if I do, then the lightning's going to strike, and I'm gonna die as Hyde. So let me keep punching the brains here. I just gotta... One more, come on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going back to Jekyll. Because now... Okay, so now I kind of get... So now I'm gonna go back to being Jekyll. Alright. And my health is back to normal, and my life is now full again. Okay. Now how much more of this level do I have to go through? I mean, as long as there's no more townspeople to have to deal with, that was why I was having so much trouble at the beginning of this level, is because... I wonder if you swap... Can you hit the spiders? Nah, you can't. I sort of figured. I mean, I know the bees you can swat away with the cane. And that makes sense because, bees you can swat away with, a fan, a bat, whatever you have, really. The spiders seem to just go at complete random. Alright, so it seems like I have to go, as soon as he's just... as soon as I'm able to clear it, even just barely... It seems like that's when I have to go. Gotcha. Now, wait a minute. Did I get... Wait a minute. Did I go back? Or is this... this is as far as I've gotten in the game, obviously, so... No, actually, this is different. I'm sorry. It looked very similar, but never mind. It is different. Okay, so there's the singing lady again, and I've got the hunter to worry about as well. But at least I know these people do more damage to stress than life. So I'm going to get over to the singing lady. I have enough coins to pay her to shut up. So I'm going to do that. Right, so I've got more ducks to worry about. Quit ducking around. The ducks falling out of the sky almost makes me... The sound it makes almost makes me feel like I'm playing Atari. So there's the bomber again. The bomber is probably... the bomber is probably the worst character in the game. Okay, so now I got dogs to worry about. But at least, like I said, at least dogs do damage to stress and not life. Okay, no, they're right. Sort of screwed. And I think some of these are rigged so that you get hit no matter what, but I'm willing to excuse that because there are instances like that in the games, and you know, I get that part of it is having to, you know, be stressed out and become Hyde and stuff like that, and so, oh jeez. Okay, so, and yeah, and obviously, you know, with classic video game or Nintendo logic is, as soon as the enemy is off screen, they're no longer a threat. Oh, okay, well, there I got knocked back pretty far, but it's okay because, like I said, stress is being depleted and not life, and as long, okay, so there, yep, all right, and obviously part of beating the game and getting the good ending is to turn into Hyde. Now, here's my concern though. Because Jekyll's getting pretty far ahead as we speak, but what I'm concerned about is this looks very similar to the first level, and I know if Hyde gets to where Jekyll started, or as far as Jekyll, then you die as Hyde. I do know that. And so I think I'm playing, if I'm not mistaken, I just don't know, because this looks like maybe, oh, see, I don't know if this is the first level. I know you're playing I'm playing one of the levels I played as Jekyll in reverse. I know that, with just slightly more destruction of the buildings and whatnot. And the rooftops don't save you here. Just so for those who don't know, the rooftops only save you in the from the lightning in the last level of the game, which will be important later on. Okay, so it looks like the best way to kill these gargoyles is by punching. The brains are best either way is good. You can shoot them or punch. If they're down there, obviously shooting is better. But yeah, the gargoyles, it looks like the best way to defeat them is to punch. The babies, it looks like it's easier to shoot them. Okay, well, with the Cycle Wave, I should probably be careful with some of the way I word some of this stuff. Okay. But that was a good Hyde run right there. And now, I know the lady, at least I thought I saw the singing lady again. Or maybe she disappeared because now I'm Jekyll again, I don't know. I mean, but I think I am learning the game's patterns the more as I play the game more. I am learning the game's patterns better. So that's good. Alright, so now it seems like maybe I'm... So wait, now, because there's the dog. So, yeah, I knew he was going to... I know that they charge eventually, but But at least, like I said, at least I'm depleting stress and not life. So, I mean, the idea is obviously the idea is, if you want any meter to be depleted, it's the stress meter, not the life meter. Okay, so now there's more townspeople, so now I'm getting a bit more concerned that I got this far, and now I've got more townspeople to worry about, because I know what these people will do to my life meter, and only my life meter. And it seems like I have to get far enough over to avoid the bomb blast. And yeah, show up at the wedding covered in bomb ashes and bird crap. Alright, so I'm just trying not to get hit by these people, because the people are the biggest obstacle here. And at least you do have after-hit invincibility, so that's good at least. So if I get hit by Billy Pones and then someone runs into me, I won't take damage on the life meter with these stupid people who just keep freaking, you know... But, like, that guy came out of nowhere, so, like... And, yeah, like, the Mad Bomber is definitely what makes the people panic. And that's pretty obvious. Now, the problem here is I didn't realize... Alright, so I'm gonna go to the left. Okay, because I can't make any progress with these people. That's the biggest problem. I was hoping I would get to a point where I wouldn't have to deal with these people anymore. The problem is I keep having to jump to avoid getting hit by the people, which obviously we all know how that only affects life and not stress. So I have to kind of get the pattern down with the people, and that's just the biggest issue, is dealing with these townspeople. Because these guys are going to start running as soon as the bomber's on screen. Yep. So yeah. This is what gets really frustrating. Okay, no. So maybe it's better to just turn into Hyde here. Or try to do something that's gonna deplete stress and not life, because the bombs I know are pretty much, well, no matter what, are an instant kill. You know, I'm gonna walk behind this guy because he's gonna panic as soon as the bomber comes on screen. So maybe it's best. So I think I see a bit of a trick here with the people to avoid the people. It seems the townspeople, that is. Okay, so there's the end of the level. There's the bomber again. Let's hope there aren't any more townspeople to have to deal with here. Alright, doesn't it... Well, I don't want to speak too soon. Alright. So I'm going to go back to the left again here. Alright, so the bomber's just going to keep appearing. I can tell that. Because as soon as I move the screen, he's probably going to start... Or not. Okay. Alright, so now I'm repeating the Gravedigger level again. So let me, now at least on these levels, it seems like your stress meter is more to be depleted than your life. Unless, of course, you get hit by the bomb. But my life is pretty depleted here, so... And I know that the only way to refill your life meter is to play as Hyde and kill enough enemies. And some of the enemies as Hyde can do quite a bit of damage, so it's very easy. Now, luckily, I did make it past, because, I mean, if I do game over, I'm at least past the stage that was giving me the most trouble, so I will at least get to continue where I left off, just from what I've seen so far. So even if I die here, from, you know, life meter, that is, if that gets completely depleted, then I know that I can at least continue and not have to deal with level 4 again, because this is level 5. Okay, so now I'm turning into Hyde again, because this is level 5. I'm going to lose all my coins, which, you know, so be it. And I'm probably going to die as Hyde, but let's see what happens. I'm going to see what I can do. I'm just mashing buttons, basically, to try to defeat these satellites. I think the satellites are some of the hardest, because the satellites are just very... Okay, yep, and I knew that was coming. But luckily, I beat level 4. I mean, again, the problem is when your life is that depleted. I think the biggest obstacle I've had is the life meter. All right, so we're gonna continue, and I don't know. Do I get to? Does it refill my health, my life completely? It does. Okay. See, there's another thing. So, like other games, when you continue or when you use a continue, it doesn't start you off with full health and life again. This game at least has the decency to do that. So. And I'm just going based on, because I mean, I will say this, I am getting more into gaming, more so retro gaming, and that's why I'm trying to turn my channel more into a gaming channel. I'll still do tech videos, obviously, but I personally like to do, I like to do gaming as well, mostly retro gaming, because I have some other stream ideas on the Japanese N64 that I have, and I also have PS2 and PS3 as well. I like to have more retro consoles. I'm more of a retro gamer. But this is, even if people don't, you know, if I don't get a lot of views on my streamers, I don't really do it for the views. I do it for the entertainment and, you know, all that stuff. So, and I do like playing games that James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, has reviewed, because, you know, even though I didn't grow up with the games as he did, even as a, you know, late millennial, early Gen Z, millennial, I guess, I actually like to see if the games are as bad. I mean, I know James has said in the past that, you know, his reviews can be exaggerated, in some cases. And yeah, I mean, like Back to the Future, that was just truly an awful and absolutely infuriating game that, you know, was very poorly designed. But this game... I mean, I know AVGN has always said that, you know, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is the worst NES game ever made and all that, but the thing is, I don't think that. I'm willing to defend this game because I think this game, I truly don't believe this game is as horrible as many folks on the internet have made it out to be. I mean, I truly think that this game has some redeeming qualities. And I know people are gonna, I know people are probably gonna, you know, hate me, you know, for saying that, but I'll be honest, I mean, this game really does have redeeming qualities, and I really am having a lot of fun playing this game. I mean, yeah, it can be frustrating at times, as any game can be, but I will say this, I am having a lot more fun playing this game, playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, than I had playing Back to the Future, because at least this game, you know, well, first of all, I mean, Back to the Future, I mean, I've already seen what the ending's like for that game, and also this game wasn't made by LJN, so it's like, you know, or was it published by LJN, or doesn't, let me just put it this way, doesn't have the infamous Rainbow of Death on the carts, so at least there's that on the cartridge. But yeah, I mean, there's at least this game. At least I have fun playing because I've gone through periods of my life where I felt, you know, like Jekyll and Hyde a little bit. I'm actually kind of going through one of them now with, you know, job rejection after job rejection, just, you know, being unable to get a job, unable to get an interview, being dismissed because I don't have because of the fact I don't have a bachelor's degree. And I think that just playing this game, especially considering it involves marriage, which is, you know, I have a lot coming up for me, coming up in my life regarding marriage and other things, and just relationship-related items. And I do think that this game is, it does help me to play this game because I think that this game really is an accurate representation of how people can feel like when they're really stressed out or just by everyday stressors, annoyances, etc. So, I mean, obviously I don't have to worry about showing up to my wedding, you know, covered in bomb ashes and, you know, bird shit, obviously, as AVGN always said, and I always found that funny. But the more I play this game, the more I grow to. I mean, I know some say like they have no fun with this game whatsoever, but I legitimately am having fun playing this game. I genuinely am having fun playing this game. So, and at least I know once I get to level 6, the barrel stage, and it looks like, I mean, I'm just speaking from what I'm seeing so far, it looks like you have unlimited continues. So, I don't think that, I mean, maybe the last stage is different, I don't know. Maybe if you die as Hyde and the lightning strikes, maybe then you don't get to continue, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but that's what we're here to find out on tonight's stream, because I really wanted to explore this game a lot more and try to beat it, actually, because if I do beat this game tonight, and I'm hoping I do, this will be the first NES game I have ever beaten. I've never beaten an NES game before, and obviously one of the draws to the NES was the fact that the games have actual endings, you know, so anyways. Yep, so alarm go off again here. At least here I'm not dealing with unruly townspeople. I think that's one of the biggest problems. And the dog attacks, I found that if you stay more to the left, the dog will still charge no matter what. And it's easier to dodge the attack based on the pattern. So I think I'm seeing I think I'm starting to get the hang of this, because there are some enemies that have, you know, noticeable patterns, like the bees. Like if you time it, like I said, if you time it just right, the bees can be swatted away with the cane. So, like I said, the Mad Bomber is the one you really got to be careful of. And if I make it to the barrel stage, I mean, that'll be the farthest. I mean, I've already gotten farther than I did in my practice run. Oh, the singing lady, again. Of course, they have to put her and the dog right at the end. But you know what? I've got full life, life. So actually, it's a good thing that I'm becoming Hyde now, because now I can get some coins to pay her off. So it seems like the game knew that, and, you know, it seems like this game can read your mind. Maybe that's what they call it, the psycho wave. This game is psychotic, or maybe the game is psychotic. Yeah, so it seems like this game, I mean, I really genuinely, and for people who may think I'm making this up saying I'm having fun playing this game, I genuinely am having fun playing this game. Yeah, I get video game rage and I get frustrated and stuff like that, but Back to the Future, I mean, that was genuine rage because of just how awful the game was, and, you know, it's like, and, you know, so that game truly was terrible. This game, I would not say the same about. This game has a lot of redeeming qualities. It has a lot to do with, oh geez, just barely got that, just barely got him. Another one, oh boy. Now that time I shot him straight in the eye and it didn't get him, but oh well, I guess. So I can kill this, what is this, like a devil with a horn or something? I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to be, maybe some... I know in the Japanese version of the game there's mermaids. Now actually, speaking of the Japanese version, I forgot to mention this, because sadly I don't own a Famicom. But I will say that in the Japanese version, a character, this is actually the reason why some levels in the Japanese version were omitted from the American version. There's a character which in the Japanese manual, from what I've read, translates to Mrs. Rachel, who I guess... Oh, the barrel stage! I made it! Okay. So I'll explain Mrs. Rachel in a moment here. Now, here's where hiding in the doors is really going to be useful. Now, let me see what these barrels, if they deplete stress or life. I really would like to know. Because... And in the Japanese version, there's a couple arguing, like throwing their stuff out the windows at you. Which in this version is not present. And yes, on this stage, that couple is present. But it looks like the barrels... Well, one hasn't... It doesn't look like any of them... I want to see if they deplete stress. Okay, so they deplete life and stress, apparently, simultaneously, at least just from what I saw there. I don't know if that's coincidental or if that's just... But it seems like the game moves a lot faster. Okay, but it looks like more stress is being depleted than life, which is what I want. Because, obviously... And it seems like the game is... Like, the frame rate just... Holy shite. The frame rate just shot way up. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, if that's normal, but man... I'm like... This is like super Jekyll and Hyde, like as if I'm playing on Super Nintendo. Okay, well now the frame rate went back to normal, but... Oh god, okay. Start singing. Because yeah, the notes I can seem to... The musical notes I can seem to avoid. If I time it just right, I can avoid it. But at least I know that if I die here, I can, well, supposedly continue where I left off, no matter what. It seems like the barrels affect the frame rate too, which is kind of intriguing. I never really have seen an NES game where that happens. Interestingly enough, I haven't had to hide in the doors even once. But I'm probably gonna eat my words on that one. I mean, it seems if I can get the bomber over here, like lure him over here. Yeah, like these barrels. I mean, sometimes I've been able to make it as Hyde, but I'm not sure, man. It seems like the barrels take both your life and stress down, so I'm not... I mean, at least I know if I die, At least I know if I die here, I can, At least I know if I die on this level, I can continue. I do have, practically, well, supposed unlimited continues. So like there, I'm gonna die, I can tell, because I don't have enough life to make it through the Hyde stage. Yep, and the bomb got me, so I'm dead there. But I get to continue anyways, so yeah. Absolutely! Exclamation mark. Thank you again! Exclamation mark. Sorry. The good thing though is the death here does allow me to respond to a couple texts. All right. Let me go back to the continue option here. Although I will say that barrel stage, I mean, the barrel stage, I will say, is a lot easier than the townspeople stages. Like, holy shite. I mean, slow and steady really does win the race, but... go away. Yeah, I mean, the barrels, I mean, there's not a lot of, that was just my fault. I jumped too early there. But... And it seems like the Mad Bomber's presence increases the more you progress through the stage. So the barrels, I think I'm correct about how they drain both life and stress. So while it's not as bad as getting hit by the townspeople charging at you, you still don't want to get hit by the barrels, regardless. So it seems like now it's like... I think the hardest part is when the frame rate just goes apeshit, and I just literally... I think that's the hardest part about this stage, is that the frame rate just keeps going to like 0 to 60, and I have to adjust to that. I don't know if that's, like I said, I don't know if that's intentional, if that's supposed to happen, but that is really, really annoying that the frame rate just keeps going from 0 to 60, because now, I mean, life and stress are depleted, and it's like... Again, I don't know if that was done intentionally, but... Because it seems like the barrels deplete both life and stress equally. Again, I don't know. I've never... This is the last... By the way, this is the 6th and final level in the game. And you gotta become Mr. Hyde, when you get closer to the end of the level, that is, before you get to the chapel. So, here's what I want to do, actually. So the barrels will start coming about right here. Yeah, the barrels seem to deplete both. Yeah, I can definitely tell it's life and stress. It seems like the frame rate just goes insane when I get like to around where the Mad Bomber is right here. So like he's gonna drop the bomb, it's gonna go off. It seems like here the bomb, at least when you try to avoid it, walk to the left and avoid it, it does less damage to the life meter and more to stress. But there, the barrels I just got hit by, and it. So I don't really. I mean, there I got hit. I suffered from the phenomenon of getting hit by the same barrel like multiple times. But it seems like if it seems like there is somewhat of a pattern to these barrels. But I'm just trying to learn what that pattern is because I've not. Like I said, I've never gotten this far in the game prior, so I don't know, like, I'm just trying to get the pattern down so I can try to avoid as many of these barrels and jump over as many of them as I can, because it almost makes me feel like I'm playing Donkey Kong. Alright, so there at least I managed to turn into Hyde with at least some life left. So now we're sort of but I still need to relieve that life meter, which is that I can see why playing as Hyde here is very difficult because okay, so let me start shooting the projectile. See, the problem is, okay, I'm gonna die as Hyde. I can probably guarantee. I can guarantee that at this point because I just can't hit these enemies no matter what I do. I just cannot hit these enemies, and that's kind of frustrating. I wish I could turn into Hyde when my life meter was when I had more life, because without any life you can't really play as Hyde. And I can't do what I need to do because my life meter keeps getting depleted. So this one, it's like I've got more to worry about than just, the equivalent of the townspeople. The barrels seem to be the worst offenders here. So in this stage, yeah, I mean the barrels, AVGN was correct. The barrels are. I'm just gonna have to take it slow and steady here. So it seems like the first couple, you're able to jump between them. And then there's a couple where they just converge at the same time, and you have to. Yeah, I mean, it seems like because there's always two barrels on screen, so I'm just trying to get the pattern. And sometimes you just can't jump. I mean, I try to press A, and it will not let me jump, and that's also frustrating because it's like, I don't know if there's like, it seems like right there I could not jump. It would not let me jump. So I don't understand. I do not understand why I'm not able to jump sometimes over these barrels. Like, maybe do I need to hide in the doors, but other times sometimes it lets me hide in the doors, other times it doesn't. So it's like, is it just complete RNG? Because the problem is now the barrels, I can confirm that they deplete both life and stress simultaneously, which makes it very, very difficult to make it through the Hyde stage because you're dead. I mean, already. I mean, if you don't already enter the Hyde world dead. That's the issue. So maybe I have to stop. It also seems like maybe I can't jump while holding right on the D-pad. So maybe I have to. Now I do know that the music notes will deplete stress. So let me try to get hit by the music notes a little bit more here. Nope. See, that's the problem. Because the barrels just keep. I keep getting hit by the barrels, which is killing me before I can even make it to the Hyde stage. So I have to figure out. It seems like the optimal way to do this level is to get to the barrel part, or the singing lady part, because the music notes always drain stress, from what I've seen so far. And given that, I think it seems like I can't hold right and jump simultaneously. It seems like when I hit A, my finger has to be off the right arrow on the D-pad. So, because it's very just confusing. I mean, the fact that I made it this far, I'm not willing to give up at this point. And it seems like here, maybe the bomb explosions could be useful, because maybe because it seems, and this is just what I've seen so far, just from playing the game, this is real world experience. it seems that the more I go to the left to try to avoid the bomb blast, that drains more stress than life. So maybe you should try to get hit by the bomb explosions here because, I mean, while also trying to avoid them, because it seems like it will help drain your stress more than it does your life. Because, I mean, ultimately you don't want your life meter to be completely depleted, but you also, and it's better to have your stress completely depleted than your life. So, I still haven't fully figured out the Hyde controls, because the satellites, I can understand, I mean, it seems like the brains, what I'm doing here is, I mean, you have to maneuver Hyde in such a way to be able to hit the enemies. Like, you have to use back and forth on the D-pad. It doesn't help that to shoot, you have to press up and B. And I think that's why I'm getting hit so many times as Hyde, because I simply can't shoot these enemies, especially the brains that jump. You know, and I just don't have the... My nose was itching, and I can't... That's the other problem, is if I get an itch in my nose, I can't concentrate, and then... it's just, that was my own damn fault, though. My stupid nose kept itching, and I could not concentrate. But the problem is, you definitely need... Okay, so let me see what I'm doing here, because... Alright, so I'm gonna jump. Okay, that one, yeah, see, like this, there's no... I mean, there's... I see somewhat of a pattern with these barrels, but it's not exactly the clearest, I should say. But it looks like the bombs... Bomb explosions may actually be somewhat, and I use that term very loosely, helpful. It also seems that you jump higher when you're not holding right either. Alright. Alert, red alert. I think my fan is causing my nose to itch, and I really cannot concentrate when my nose is itching this badly. Alright, so now I'm back. See, I think like I said, the biggest problem I'm seeing here is when you finally do become, well, not finally, I guess, I don't know. When you do become Hyde, your life is drained to a point where you can't kill enough enemies as Hyde, especially considering how stiff the controls are. Or it's very difficult to kill enough enemies to become Jekyll again before, you know, because that's just what makes this part so difficult, is, you know, I'm just doing what I can to try to avoid getting hit by the brains and taking damage, but the problem is I just can't stop getting hit. Mainly because my nose, I feel like there's a feather, like someone's tickling my nose. That serpent, though, because again, my nose keeps itching, I just cannot stop itching and cannot concentrate. Now, interestingly enough, that serpent lady that I just noticed, I did not know that she was in the in the American version. I knew she was in Japanese, but I did not know she was in the American version. There's just times where it just will not let you jump no matter what. Like, you press A and it just... I mean, I've had this with problem in other video games too, but where you press A and it doesn't take your input. I mean, every video game suffers from that. It just can be really annoying sometimes. So it also seems that if I take it a little slower with the barrels, alluding to the patience thing... I'm probably not going to commentate much. The other problem is when you get knocked into one barrel and it just keeps hitting you, because that is like an instant kill. It almost might as well instantly kill you. And I think that's the thing. It's like the fact that I keep getting hit by the because now I don't have enough life to continue as Hyde, so I'm just going to have to die as Jekyll because I know I don't have enough life to continue as Hyde. It also seems like when you die as Jekyll, you have to realize how you have to pay attention to more so your life meter than your stress meter, because if you don't have enough life to continue as Hyde, then you can't really play as Hyde. I mean, let's see here, though. So, yeah, the barrels, I mean, I would definitely say this is... The townspeople, in my opinion, are still a little harder, but... Well, actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I rescind that, you know, or recant that. You know why? Or I not rescind also, but you know, the thing is, recant actually. The thing is, the problem is that the barrels drain both your life and your stress. The townspeople drain just your life, sure, and is that annoying? Yes. Does that make it harder to have enough life to be Hyde? But the barrels, the fact that they drain both your life and your stress simultaneously, almost equally, at least from what I've seen, that is what really... Okay, but now at least I have half life, so at least not to be confused with Half-Life, and yeah, Half-Life 3, right? When's it? It's never gonna come out, it's full people's fault. Anyways. But at least now I've got enough life where I feel confident that I can play as Hyde and not frickin' die. Well, maybe I spoke too soon, but... The problem is I just keep taking damage from these enemies, and... I mean, my Hyde deaths have been more just the traditional way, just the way you'd expect, which is just getting hit by enemies too many times. And, you know, and that's... Because, like, see, like, I'm trying to pull off the frickin' Psych Wave, and he will not do it. I'm trying to press up and B, and it's not working. I can't do the move. Now, there's Latool, and I feel like I'm gonna die again, because I can't stop getting hit. Like that. I cannot stop getting hit. Because I cannot pull the Psycho Wave off. I cannot do it. And that's what's more frustrating than anything, is he will not do the Psycho Wave, no matter how many times I press up and B. So, it's almost like you have to keep that life meter as close to full as possible before you try to even approach that stage. So maybe it's better to die as Jekyll earlier. This dog, it seems to be a complete random, although he depletes the stress meter. He or she, I don't know if it's a female or male dog, but yeah. But the barrels are definitely the worst obstacle here, because you simply just can't get hit by the barrels, because if you do, you know, it's all, like I said, it's all about maintaining the life meter. The stress meter is less of a concern, but you gotta keep that life meter as high as possible before you become Hyde. Otherwise, you won't have enough energy to defeat the enemies as Hyde. Some of these I just can't stop getting hit by these barrels, and that's the biggest problem, is I just cannot stop getting hit by the barrels. And that is really a problem, because I need that energy to be able to play as Hyde. And to get the good ending, you have to beat the game as Hyde. Speaking of Latool, the enemy you just saw, the disappearing face, if I'm not able to do, I mean, someone please tell me in the chat if there's a better way to pull off the Psycho Wave. If anyone knows, please let me know in the chat if there's a better way to pull off that Psycho Wave move, because up and B is just very difficult for me to do. It's just very difficult to... I'm not going to have enough life. I don't have enough life. I can't play as Hyde again. I have to die as Jekyll. I have to die again because I do not have enough life to continue as Hyde. And that's the problem. By the time I become Hyde, I'm either dead on arrival, or I know I do not have enough life to play as Hyde, so I can't do anything. I just can't do anything. It's because the barrel... It's because... And there's at least that one part where the barrels aren't being thrown at you. This is Donkey Kong, but yeah, the problem is these barrels are probably worse than the townspeople, actually. Because they just seem... The fact that... Because at least, like, the townspeople deplete your life, and is that annoying? Yes. But, it's... Okay, so I think I'm starting to see a pattern. But you just gotta keep that life up. Otherwise, you know, you've got a problem with... You just can't make it through the Hyde stages. If your life is too low, you're screwed as Hyde, because I can't stop getting hit as Hyde. So I gotta... At least you can hear when the barrels are being thrown. You can hear the little, like, I guess someone tossing them, or like them being shot out of a cannon. That's what it sounds like to me. But even half-life as going in as Hyde is still not enough. It just doesn't make any sense. See, because I just keep getting hit too many times as Jekyll by the barrels, but that's what's frustrating, is that I know I don't have enough life to go in as Hyde and complete the Hyde stages, because once again I'm screwed. I'm fatally screwed. I just gotta die as Jekyll. I can't do Hyde again because I don't have enough life. I do not have enough life to make it to the Hyde stages. So it's frustrating because I'm trying to. That's what's really frustrating, is the fact that I can't even get past I really got to figure out how to pull off the Psycho Wave move better, because up and B, that I think if there's the worst part of the game, for me at least, is when you're Hyde trying to do the Psycho Wave, because it's so hard to pull the move off because of the up and B. If it was just B, that would be fine. But the fact that you have to hit up and it has to be done with such precision just makes it so difficult to pull off, and it's a very difficult move it's a very difficult move to pull off, because you have to hit up and B. It has to be like at just the right time, and it's very difficult to do. And that's why I can't stop getting hit, because other enemies can shoot projectiles at you, obviously. So it's very weird, man. This game really is a strange case, like the book. Yeah, I just can't. You gotta stop getting hit by the barrels, because the barrels, I'm already down to half again, and I can't stop getting hit by these barrels. And that's what's really frustrating, is because, yeah. So you know what? These are definitely worse than the townspeople. I mean, if I had more time, I just can't stop getting hit by the barrels, which is the problem, because the pattern here is just so. And not being able to jump. No, I don't have enough energy. I have to die again because I don't have enough energy. Not enough life. Not enough life to play as Hyde. You need more. I mean, I would say you probably need at least 75% life, at least, to make it through the Hyde stage. Because otherwise you're just going to get hit too many times, because it does take a while to... It takes way too long to kill enough enemies to become Jekyll again. So it just... Yeah, there's no point. Maybe I should just trying to strategize here, because this is maybe I don't know if I should hide in the doors for some of the barrels. Maybe that is the intention, or the intended way is just to hide in the doors for some of the barrel barrages. I mean, they are there for a reason. So like maybe here I'm supposed to hide in the door, because I mean I could jump the barrels, obviously. The problem is the Mad Bomber is... Yeah, so like right there. Well, again though, I don't have enough life. I'm not going to make it as Hyde because I don't have enough life. And trying to press up and B... And the problem is just trying to press... It's the up and B that is really just... It really just gets frustrating, because I can't pull off the move enough to live long enough. I just can't avoid getting hit because I can't... See, like right there, I cannot shoot when I need to. And I'm not able to fend off enough enemies, because I'm trying to press up and B, and I just am not able to do it fast enough. I mean, this is where you really need a turbo button. Or if you have a regular controller, you gotta go in with more life, because if you don't have enough life, you just know that you can't make it. It's just not possible. Seems the slower I go through this with the barrels, I mean, I always end up getting hit by at least one of them, and that's... Yeah, again, I just don't have enough life. I'm not going to make it as Hyde again. I have to die as Jekyll completely because, again, not enough life. So I was close again. I keep getting close, but by the time I become Hyde, I just don't have enough life to be able to fend off the enemies. I mean, even if like I said, even if you hold B, or hold up and mash B, the Psycho Wave only goes off when it feels like it is, seemingly. I mean, maybe I can pull back. I mean, I do see that I get maybe marginally better luck pressing. You know what? Maybe that is a better way to do it. I notice if I hold up and spam B, I still have to maneuver to the left and right as Hyde, but it seems like I'm able to kill more of those brain enemies when I'm holding up and spamming B. So maybe that's a better way to approach that. The biggest problem, like I said, are these barrels. These things are just ruthless. One thing I was going to say, speaking of being unable to gain health, or regain health, I should say, as Jekyll, in the Japanese version, there is a character known as Mrs. Rachel, and she'll be like, I guess, blowing kisses to you out a window or something from the videos I've seen of the Famicom version, and I guess you can, like, I don't know if you cheat on your fiance or, you know what, but yeah, it seems that when Jekyll goes in there, the music changes, and you regain health, and you even get coins, as if she's paying you to be naughty, I guess. I don't know, I haven't read the manual, but I would think that that's what that is. It's just... But sadly, she's not in the American version, and I don't really know why. I don't know why she was cut from the American version, maybe just because of the censorship in this country, I don't know. Honestly, I really could not tell you on that one. I just don't... The other thing is, the couple that fights and throws their stuff out the window at you is also not present, because in the Japanese version of this game, they are present on this exact level, and also in the first level, the first town level. Alright, so I just want to get hit by the musical notes, because I'd rather be hit by one of those instead of the... Okay, there we go. Alright, so now let me try my new method of holding up and spamming B. Because, I mean, you also have to control Hyde's movement elsewhere, but I want to see if... for the brain, when the brains are on screen, I find that maybe holding up and spamming B is the better way to do it. Now, the gargoyles, you know... Okay, so yeah, so I see, like, I seem to be able to hit... The brains, I mean, when they're in the air, you're basically defenseless. Like, it doesn't matter how much I spam B, it's like I just cannot hit these guys fast enough to be able to avoid dying, which is frustrating as all hell, but it seems like the brains are the best ways See, it's just, you need more life when you go into this, you need more, and I just cannot, because the barrels keep draining it to the point where I cannot do it. Like, you need at least 75% before you go into the Hyde stage. You need at least 75% health. This is like right there. I'm already screwed now because there's no way I'm gonna make it. The barrels are just gonna deplete all my energy again, and I'm not gonna have enough to go into the Hyde world. And somehow I evaded that one, but the other one hit me when I was like a mile away. Like. So there are things that are annoying about this game, like that, obviously. Okay, well, it also seems that when you're... Okay, so yeah, hiding in the doors obviously helps. Now, one thing to note is when you're hiding, because you have to hold up on the D-pad to hide in the doors. Like, yeah, because like right now I'm holding up. Okay, well, actually, you know what? That was probably for the better. Now, that actually worked out in my favor. So, because there... Okay, now I feel a little bit more confident on this Hyde stage here. So let me... See, there's Latoul. That's that face, that demon face that appears and disappears. That is Latoul. That is as it's defined in the manual of the game's manual. So... I have never been adept at button mashing, but I'm gonna try to get these brains, because the problem is some of them jump straight on my head, and I'm not able to get out of the way to dodge in time. So I think that I need to, maybe it looks like it's just a bunch of backward and forward maneuvering with the brains, and I just haven't been able to get the pattern down, but sometimes they have these low jumps that are just very difficult to hit. But it seems like you need to constantly be using that Psycho Wave and killing the brains, and try not to jump as much, because it seems like the Psycho Wave... Okay, got it! Okay, back to Jekyll. Oh my god, finally. Okay. So, okay. Alright, so it's only going to restore 75% of my health, though. That's the only issue. But let's see, because I never went back to being Jekyll on this level before, so I want to see... But it looks like the doors are advantageous, because when you hide in them, you not only... it helps you avoid the bomb blast, but it also helps you conserve your life meter. So it seems like the doors are the solution, quite honestly, in that regard. And it also seems that you avoid the barrels better if you jump, or if you, like, do subtle taps with the D-pad, and try not to be moving when you jump over the barrels. I mean, I realize that's not always possible because, you know, the Mad Bomber and the Singing Lady and other projectiles, but the frame rate changes here are just really... But you know what, let me try to get hit by these notes, because the notes seem to do more damage to stress than Alright, get out of my way. Alright, because now I'm pretty much equal as far as life and stress are concerned. Alright, there we go. I just want to try to get, but I still don't think I have enough life to make it through the Hyde stage. But let's see what I get. I gotta really take this one to heart. Okay. I'm gonna play like, well, my life does depend on it, but basically, I'm just gonna... Now that serpent, now that, I don't understand, like, how, because that is what I thought was not in the American version, but is, I thought that was only in Japanese, and yeah, the satellites, it's just, you need enough life, and I just don't have enough life to make it through the Hyde stages. I don't have enough life, is the problem. So that's the problem with those barrels, is they keep draining your life, and that's why the Hyde stages, I mean, that's why this has been such a challenge, because I can't even get through the Hyde stages because I don't have enough health from being Jekyll, to be able to make it through the Hyde stages. The barrels just keep killing me, quite literally. So you have to be very careful to not get hit too many times by the barrels, because these things are just ruthless. See, like, sometimes it will not let me jump for the life of me, and I just get really, that's very frustrating. Oh, okay, so the doors, yeah, so I'm gonna do, I did the same trick I did last time, which is the door trick, because now I've got enough life to play as Hyde, or at least I think so. The other thing is, too, you gotta be careful not to shoot the coins, too, because with the Psycho Wave, you can shoot the coins, too. I mean, you want to constantly be firing, obviously, but you don't want to shoot the coins, either. And actually, if you jump up to the window where the lady's singing, you can actually pay her off, too. Recommendation, but yeah. It's very... The Psycho Wave being up and B is probably the most infuriating thing about this game, is the fact that the Psycho Wave, literally, it's so difficult to pull off the move. Now, it seems like maybe now this is interesting, though. It seems like if I alternate A and B, I'm able to do the Psycho Wave, and I'm also able to be a little more precise with my shots here. So maybe let's see. What if I do, like, if I just go kind of random on, like, random button mashing with A and B, and you know, maybe just some subtle taps with the D-pad. It seems like I can evade the enemies a little bit better. Let's see. Like, the problem is I can't stop punching. I want to be shooting, but I can't stop punching because of the up and B. It's so difficult to pull off the damn move. It's so hard to pull it off. But there we go. There we go. And yeah, alright. So at least I got some more doors to hide in here. Because it seems like the bomb, yeah, I think that's the solution. The solution is to hide in the doors when the barrels are coming. And also when the Mad Bomber's on screen. I don't know if I can hide in here. I wouldn't think I could, but let's see. Maybe. Nope. Okay. So yeah, there has to be a door on screen. So only when there's a door on screen can you hide. Okay. But I think I'm getting the hang of it because I think I'm getting the hang of it because it seems like so whenever there's a door, use the hide move, not H-I-D-E, of course. Because yeah, it seems like hiding in the door is just going to be your friend when it comes to avoiding these stupid barrels, and also ensuring that the bombs hit you more than the barrels do. Because I found that to be much more effective. Okay, so now I'm going to start. All right, so now I got to really just. God, it's just these enemies just. It's like it's just. I'm trying to not get hit. Is the problem is. The problem is I cannot stop getting hit because they keep. I just can't use. I can't fend them off in time. It's like no matter how many times you spam the B button or up and B or whatever you do, it's just you can't fend off the damn enemies. It's so hard to do. I mean, it has to be done with such precision too. Now it seems like maybe there's the piss fountain, except going in the hide mode, which is kind of interesting. Now it does seem if I stay to the right too much, I'm not able, because now, I mean, well, you know what, don't jinx it then. Don't jinx it, buddy. Ah, dang it! See, he will not shoot when I need him to. I needed to shoot there and he would not do it. It would not let me shoot. It's because of the up and B. That's the problem. This up and B is just so frustrating because it's so difficult to pull off the Psycho Wave. And that's the most effective move. And it's also very difficult to not have too much life depleted by the barrels. That just literally, that's the worst part, is just these frickin' barrels. I mean, you got to avoid the barrels. That's the hardest part, is the barrels. When they just keep coming at you. I mean, getting hit by the barrels is your worst nightmare. Because the barrels seem to do more damage than... Interestingly. So difficult to get through this without dying. It's just, or without dying as, you know, in terms of life is concerned. Because the barrels, I just don't have enough life again. I can't be Hyde because I don't have enough life. You have to, you just, the barrels are the killer, quite literally, not just figuratively. I just don't. Now I'm not gonna make it because, like I said, by the time you shoot enough, you kill enough enemies to turn back, because you just can't. The time it takes. You just can't, and I cannot pull off the Psycho Wave enough. Like, I don't understand how you're supposed... I mean, you need a turbo controller. That's all I can say. Okay, so there we go. It seems the better I time my or up and B presses, maybe I can get a little bit better. I'm just trying to get the up and B perfected because it's so difficult to pull off the Psycho Wave move. And yet it's the most effective move, yes, but it's just it only does it when it's almost as if the game only does it when it feels like it. It's so bizarre. I've never seen anything so sporadic that, you know. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I'm just trying to. I just really need to. I'm trying to figure out like how to best pull this off. Okay. Well, at least now I can have full health again. Oh my gosh! What happened? The color's just inverted on my TV. Oh crap. There we go. I'm like really in the zone now. My hands really are sweating all over the floor. Pretty close too. I'm so determined to get done with this, man. At least here it seems like the bomb explosions drain more. Yeah, I can definitely tell that the bomb explosions, especially when you make an effort to step away from the bomb, definitely are drain more stress. And that is ideal because, okay, so now I've got half, stop, there we go. Okay, so at least half I can well, mostly at least manage with. I was gonna try to rapid fire the crap out of this, rapid fire. Serpent, the problem is I can't stop getting hit by the damn satellites. I don't have enough life. I know I don't have enough life to make it through. I don't have enough life. Once again, I don't have enough life to make it through. Because I keep getting hit by the damn barrels. I think I'm making the right call here. I'm going to call it a night tonight. And I'll tell you why. I'm dealing with some IRL issues. So I'm going to call it a night. At this point, I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I'll see if I can finish this game maybe around Halloween. But I am dealing with some pretty bad IRL issues right now. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.